All right, welcome to Angel Oregon Tech. Oh, yes, applause for that. Welcome to Angel Oregon Tech. I can tell this is a good crowd. Okay, we fondly refer to this program in acronym form, because why would we not, as AOTech. So that's what you're going to hear. I am delighted to welcome you all to Jupiter Next for an incredible afternoon of connection, education, and innovation. So let's start with some background. The Friday prior to announcing the AOTech program, there was some big news around the country as Silicon Valley Bank failed, which was hitting an industry that was already facing challenges, yet another blow. I absolutely was crying because that's what I do. And the OEN team debated on postponing this program and potentially canceling it altogether. Then a very astute partner reminded me that OEN has been raising funds to invest in companies for almost 20 years through many economic peaks and valleys, and that there was no better time to commit to raising capital for a technology startup than when things were a little rough. And that made the past 6 months for me a crash course in raising a fund to invest in technology and go through a due diligence process that included me learning about things called IP moats, which are apparently something you want to be in, and regular discussions about, let's try this phrase, algorithm feasibility. So tech is an industry with a $1.8 trillion market share in the United States alone. And the US averages 20 tech startups a year that will reach $100 million in revenue. And one of those could very well be in the room with us this afternoon. So from AI to write grants or fight cyber attacks to specially coded virtual reality glasses, the class of AOTech companies is incredibly inspiring and well poised to grow their companies in the coming years. There is a focus on solving social problems, making tech more joyful, and protecting people from cybercrime. Innovation in tech is continuous and comes frequently from non-technical founders solving a problem relevant to themselves, be it cataloging your belongings after you lose them once to a wildfire, to holding your friends accountable to pay you once you make a bet. Bisky, there you go. These are just two examples of the disruptors representing technology innovation in Oregon and Southwest Washington. These companies change the way we do business, look for a job, or write a grant. And they put our region on the map as an innovator of truly life-changing products that become a driving force in local economic development. It's an honor to have been a small part of their growth and evolution within the tech industry. I should pause because I have not introduced myself, and I may not have met some of you. My name is Cara Turano. I'm the executive director of the Oregon Entrepreneurs Network, and today I'm practicing my camouflage skills to blend into the background. I did not get the memo to not wear black until I had already arrived. So I know we have some OEN board members in the room. I know we have at least one. If you're an OEN board member, could you please stand up? Thank you, Ryan. We also have today my colleagues, Alex Gamboa-Grand, I'm not sure where Alex is, and Riley O'Brien. And we have OEN summer intern, Cornelia Penn, who did not know when we brought her on from Reed College that she was going to participate in a due diligence process this summer. And she brought a fresh perspective as a rising college senior. We are delighted to have her. She will be looking for a job next summer, so talk to her at the end of this event. All right. All the programming provided by OEN would not be possible without the support of our general sponsors, who you can see on the screen. Thanks to all of you who are in the room for supporting entrepreneurs of all industries throughout the state. We at OEN are especially proud to be hosting this program in partnership with the BFM Fund. Specifically, I would like to recognize the hard work of Marquita Jaramillo and her team of volunteers. Carrie Leathers, oh, we're gonna clap first. Okay, go. Okay, now we'll recognize her volunteers. Carrie Leathers, Louise Valdereras Villagrana, Ronisha Hayes, and Veronica Yanis. If any of you are in the room, please stand up and be recognized for your hard work. I would also like to give a really big round of applause, but let me finish talking first, for John Williams, the OEN Board Vice Chair and the Volunteer Investment Director for this program, as well as Scott Grout, who is in the room, who have provided so much structure and perspective. They have led a truly inspirational due diligence process, and I greatly appreciate all of their time and effort to make this a wonderful experience for our investors. Please give them a round of applause. And thank you to every one of the angel investors who's taken the leap to join AOTech investment pool and help fuel the growth of one of these local innovators. I know it was new territory for many of you, and we have all learned a lot together. Previous comment, IP moat. We are so proud to have grown our AOTech investment in a time of turbulence in tech funding to $170,000. That deserves a big round of applause. And I would be remiss if I did not do my sales job and say, you can still join the fund. So if you hear something today that is amazing and you want to put your 5, 10, or multiple of $5,000 into the AOTech fund, find me afterwards, send me an email. You'll have a few days. But you're also invited to make direct investment in any company you meet today. I am fairly certain they are all fundraising. You could also choose to support an AOTech Emerge Initiative awardee. So the Emerge Initiative is designed to support very early stage companies led by founders of color. Our partner in the Emerge Initiative is Marquita, who I mentioned before. She is here from the BFM Fund, and she will come up in a little bit to tell you more and actually present this award to our winner. So AOTech is a full court press community effort. A key part of this community are the sponsors. These companies are willing to put dollars on the line to help build the technology sector, and we're particularly pleased to see successful local founders supporting the next gen of entrepreneurs. Huge thanks to our Narich Messina, Business Oregon, Corridor, Lane Powell, Marco Law Group, Oregon State University, Oregon Tech Works Association, Perkins Coie, Portland Seed Fund, Rain Catalyst, Sage Law, SEDCOR, and Stoll Reeves. Please join me in a round of applause to thank these sponsors for their support. Riley, is John here? Okay. I thought you were going to get a break from me, but you don't. Sorry. In 2021, the AOTech Award included an investment of $145,000 to Rewire Neuro, now Rewire AI. Rewire develops intelligent technologies to push forward biomedical research, improving the pace, ease, and reproducibility of research. John Harkness, Rewire AI's CEO, was unable to attend, but we asked him for a brief update. So since receiving the Angel Oregon Tech investment, Rewire filled out its pre-seed round with an investment from Elevate Capital and other angel investors, was awarded a Phase 2 SBIR grant from NIH, NIGMS, which helped fund research and development of their Cytologist AI platform and integration with its partners. They've raised nearly $3 million in federal and state grants, as well as investment funding, established integration partnerships, have just returned from the Swiss biotech days, and are preparing to open their seed round of funding. That is the point of AOTech, to help support them do all of those things. Congratulations to John and the entire Rewire AI team for their success. Okay, now you get a little break from me just talking to you. I am really excited to have a little bit of a different fireside chat at today's AOTech. So our two panelists are constantly pushing to merge innovative tech and agriculture outside of Portland's city limits. And they are also helping to reinvent the traditional startup investment model to support the economic growth of our region's farmers. And we are the Oregon Entrepreneurs Network, which is confusing because most things we do happen in Portland. So this is why we are having this conversation, to show you what innovation looks like outside the city limits, because two of our finalists today also do not reside in Portland. So I'm going to welcome to the stage Jeff Freeman, Director of Sales and Marketing with Marion Ag Service. Jeff, will you please grab the questions in the chair next to you? Thank you. I thought I was going to get a break and I could get them myself. And Alex Paraskevas, Rural Expansion Catalyst for SEDCOR. Okay, thanks for being here, guys. A little background. 2020, who remembers it? Alex and I hosted a program to get software developers to develop technology for rural innovation, essentially for ag tech. And that started a conversation that's now 3 years in the making about what tech looks like outside of cities, not just here, but around the country. And Alex has really been leading these efforts in partnership with Jeff, who is one of my favorite people. So I'm going to pause and have each of them introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about what they do and their connection to innovation and technology.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Alex Paraskevas. I work for SEDCOR. We're the Strategic Economic Development Corporation. It's a terrible name because it doesn't give any kind of geographic identity, but we cover Marion, Polk, and Yamhill County doing economic development. We're a nonprofit 501c6, so membership organization structured similar to a chamber. And as Cara mentioned, for the last 3 years, we've been kind of I was tilting at windmills a little bit around agriculture, technology, and seeing how we can help grease the wheels for on-farm adoption of technology, but also to help support startups who are trying to enter an ag space. So I joke. I didn't know anything about agriculture 5 years ago. When I started at SEDCOR, I was the guy driving up and down I-5, and I'm like, oh, it's pretty. But now I realize that, some money in the fields, right? It's debt or profit. Somebody's getting paid. Our ag retailer friend here might be one of those getting paid. But ultimately understanding that agriculture is hugely complicated, hugely complex, and a lot of startups who are entering that space haven't really spent a lot of time with farmers. And so helping sort of create those relationships, and I think that our working model at SEDCOR is all just purely relationship based. So the text message conversation or the phone call with a farmer or the retailer or whatever, I think that's really the best way to go about starting out and supporting some of these businesses. So my real soapbox is that all Oregonians should be proud of what we grow and the way we grow it. We're a hugely diverse agricultural sort of landscape, especially compared to the Midwest. And we are not, generally covered by crop insurance, for example. So people are sort of in the wind when it comes and playing the ponies and maybe gambling every year. And so, but we've got 225 things that we grow in the state. And especially the Willamette Valley, just 175 in the R3 counties in sort of Mid-Valley, and it's hard. And so just helping kind of preach and sort of proselytize about agriculture is sort of what I've turned into. Don't get trapped in the elevator with me. It's really...
Hi, my name's Jeff Freeman. I'm with Marion Ag Service, and Marion Ag Service is an ag retailer, and we like to really phrase that as a trusted advisor. So we work alongside the growers to help them manage inputs, call it a house call doctor. We're out looking at crops all the time. So the team that works at Marion Ag is constantly out in the field. I grew up in a small town called Amity. If anybody knows where that's at, on a grass seed farm. There you go. On a grass seed farm, went to Oregon State, and when I wanted to look at coming back to the farm, it was you needed to bring back some opportunity. So I had spent time in the horticulture business and was really looking at bringing higher value crops back to the farm. And I got caught up in this thing they call the input business, fertilizer, crop protection products, and never left. And what's been layered on to that service portfolio is technology and monitoring and things like that, so that we can help growers make better decisions, because if we can't help them create greater yield or greater quality, that's what they get paid on, right? So there's a lot of variables, there's a lot of diversity in the market, so you have to be kind of a jack of all trades, dealing with a lot of different crops. And I've been fortunate in my career to work across agriculture and then professional horticulture, which is actually the biggest agricultural commodity in the state of Oregon is nursery crops. And then I've also worked in the amenities and turf side of the business, golf courses and things like that. So to me, it's all just growing stuff. And it's a great business to be in, but adoption of technology, when you have a farmer who are great generalists and very bright people, and they do a lot of stuff, and they are the ultimate entrepreneurs. They take so much risk that when you bring technology to them, adoption may be a struggle. So that's my biggest piece of advice if you're looking at agriculture as a space for technology. Saddle up, because it's gonna be a long ride.
Well, okay, so this is my first question, because I've learned a lot about this too. Words like entrepreneur and innovation are not that's not the terminology that farmers think of themselves.
What did you call me?
Exactly. And meanwhile, I have been on a farm where all the equipment directions are in Italian, and people are engineering solutions for them every day, and I think that's innovative in entrepreneurship. So you both, Jeff, I want to start with you, because you grew up with an agricultural background. How do you view innovation and entrepreneurship in a rural setting?
When a problem presents itself, you fix it. And that's kind of the fundamentals of technology, right? If you have a problem and you have a good solution. So that is really the fundamentals of farming. And I think every farmer is an accountant, every farmer is a CEO, every farmer's the laborer. So
meteorologist.
Yeah, it's everything,
economist.
right? So it's really hard to gain their attention if you're trying. So that's why, just a bit of a plug, if you look at John Deere dealers and AGCO dealers, which provide most of the equipment, they're a trusted advisor to the grower. In the input side of the business, folks that they call ag retailers, there's some big international ones, there's smaller ones like us. Gaining that trust of the farmer is what they've done for years. So trying to come in from the outside, and if you don't have the credentials and the trust, you can really struggle. So if you're going to invest, look at your path to market and try to find the path of trust to those growers.
Great. I agree with that, and I think that would probably hold true for any community where you're trying to build a solution if you are not intimately familiar with the challenge you're trying to solve. Okay, Alex, what are some of the short and long-term trends you're seeing right now in regards to tech-driven ag?
I think Jeff actually could probably take this one, because he
can go next.
hosted a drone demo today.
Just excited about drones.
Yeah.
It's the shiny thing syndrome, guys. There's a lot of drones. To me, the one thing they have is they can go out and collect information and analyze information, and that's great, and that's gaining progress. Where some people are going with it is they want to go actually spray and fertilize and treat, and it's a capacity and a scale thing versus, you got a sprayer to go out and spray at 80 feet a swath is about $350,000. A drone's about 30, but you need 4 drones to be able to even get close. So I struggle whether it's going to gain adoption, but you kind of you can't be on the bleeding edge, but you can be on the leading edge. So we expose our growers to that, even though we may not invest in it. We try to bring in people to provide them exposure, and that's what we did today.
I would add the other pieces that I think are interesting, and I guess part of the reason that I'm here is like I said, SEDCOR, we've been working on this stuff for the last 3 years, and we're connected to sort of a national accelerator called Ag Launch, and they run Ag Launch Initiative, and so they run an ag tech accelerator in Memphis, Tennessee, so then the Mississippi Delta, and they have a pretty unique model when it comes to ag tech accelerators, because ag tech accelerator not unique. I think there's about 90 of them right now in the country, but they have farmers pick the companies that get invited in. And my cheap shot, and I mean no offense, but I always just use this line, is just because farmers know agriculture better than venture capitalists, and so can generally be a better sort of, I don't know, maybe decision maker on those things. Sorry, I just had to use the line. I probably shouldn't have, but that's how it is. And the other part of that is actually when the startups, they actually get when they graduate sort of from the classroom programming of the accelerator, they get a 2-year sort of field trial set up, and there's an agronomy team from Ag Launch, and so they actually give up equity to the farmers that are hosting the trials, right? And so it's when I tell farmers about this, I don't, nobody's getting rich from this necessarily, but it really is a way that the farmers who have so much risk and a lot of opportunity costs to try stuff, trial stuff, I would say become de facto chief technical officers for these startups. They at least have some sort of sliver of compensation in this model. And so the reason that we've been playing in this space is because, agriculture in the Willamette Valley looks like a lot of 1,000-acre farms and doesn't look like a lot of 100,000-acre farms, right? And so part of it is just like democratizing research and development and getting the farmers that are part of the farmer network. They're kind of the crazy ones. They're the crazier ones. They have a higher appetite for risk. They're pretty much the person who's going to try anything anyway. So at least when you connect them together, you can help sort of accelerate and scale startups who are trying to play in that space. And so I think the far-reaching goal for what we're trying to do is find more ag tech startups in Oregon. It's really hard in high-value specialty crops because you figure there's, 90 million acres of corn and 80 million acres of soy, and we've got 650,000 acres that has 175 different crops. So it's not like there's a huge market necessarily here. It's just trying to find the things that'll work across multiple high-value specialty crops. Cara referenced the design sprint that we did, yeah. And so we did this design sprint with the Technology Association of Oregon 3 years ago when Cara was still working there. And we pitched sort of ag problems to the TAO sort of general membership. And one of the really fun problems that we had, we thought we were really clever, we titled it Wine Goggles.
It's not what you think.
Yeah, and so, and the wine goggles were pitched by a farmer who was growing wine grapes. And he was like, I wish my sorting crew had a better way to differentiate the ripeness of Pinot grapes on the line to help for consistency and obviously you get higher value bottle. And so, but I need something that's cheap, that if it breaks, it's not detrimental. And also like an optical sorter for wine grapes is about $350,000. And you can't really crowdsource one of those because everyone needs them at the same time, right? And so I need like a $50 or $100 pair of glasses. Well, 3 years later, and I guess like 2 months ago, we were at a farm playing with the prototypes because the guy who won the challenge was like, I can't get this idea out of my head. And then he went and found the founder of Enchroma, the colorblind glasses that go viral, everybody cries, right? And so he got the Enchroma guy, and so they created the prototypes, and so here we are 3 years later. So I'm not naive enough to think that we're gonna like maybe shift how Oregon agriculture goes. All land's gonna, 60% of ag land is gonna change hands in the next 20 years in Oregon. You get a lot of consolidation. Next generation doesn't necessarily want to stay in farm because it's hard and difficult and high risk and expensive right now for acres to even get into it. But if we can help sort of fix the folks that are raising their hands and sort of interested in playing, then that's who we want to partner with. So anyway, that was like a little bit probably should have started there, but that's kind of why I'm here.
Alex is one of my favorite people. Did I mention that already? What was great about the glasses, because like you did joke, you were like, oh, people put them on, they can see color for the first time, and it makes you cry. But we were wearing those glasses, and we were at a farm that grows nursery starters, essentially.
Yeah, they grow 75 to 90 million seedling starts per year in 105 hoop houses. The scale is bonkers, right? Like, it's just nuts. So we were wearing these glasses, and you can differentiate greens and purples a little bit better and a little bit less eye strain. And the farm that I was at right before that visit was like, man, we need our spot spraying crews to have these so they can go out in a grass seed field and differentiate between POA and, annual and perennial, whatever. And so, because we do a lot of grass seed here, everybody knows, probably because everybody has allergies. And so, 350,000 acres of grass seed, it makes you sneeze.
But the point of bringing it back and like harping on that is we thought we had an awesome idea with a huge market when we were like wine grapes. And now it's like grass seed and all of these other things. And I'm like, okay, now the VCs that we just beat up on, they see a huge market with a lot of potential. And don't worry, the last time we did this, the VCs were beat up really bad. So what you said was like not terrible at all.
Harvest Optics, that's the one to watch.
Harvest Optics, there you go. You guys just got an investment tip live on stage at AOTech. All right. Jeff, you kind of touched on this, but there was a couple things that I didn't hear in this question. what are the various challenges in scaling technology adoption in rural areas? And I think it goes beyond what you addressed. I think, how do you store data? How do you transmit things with no internet? Like, I think there's a lot more that you all could elaborate on.
That's about scale of a particular market opportunity?
Yeah.
Well, if you've ever heard the term corn is king, corn, just like Alex said, there's not a lot of corn here. But if you have the idea to start a company and turn around and scale it up and sell it, you're probably going to focus on corn, right? If you want to start a technology company and have real value and revenue and hold it and service those customers long term, you may choose nichier opportunities around cropping or what the needs are in that crop. So it really depends on your goal. As far as technical scale, I'm not the expert on what it takes to store data. I'm not the guy.
But also the question is, right, who owns the data, right? That's the big one in agriculture right now, especially with players like John Deere and whatnot. And it's complicated. I think it's really complicated. The group I mentioned earlier, AgLaunch, that we're working with, they're trying to create data lake so that for their farmers to put data in, and then the startups can play with it. And then, of course, you would still own everything. But, that's 42 farms in 10 states. So that's to say that's small is underselling it, right? That's tiny piece. But helping as people try to figure that piece out, that'll be really important.
Yeah, just to, I guess, fill in a little bit of a gap there. We've had solutions that have come to us that they want to do business immediately. They may be a $35 or $50 an acre fee for that service. And when you look at the margins of crops, it's a real struggle unless you're a super high value crop. So it's really, I think the play in data associated with agriculture is take small bites every year, $2, $3, $4 an acre type data points, and stack them over time. And then what you'll see is that accumulation and analytics of data becomes valuable in them making longer term decisions.
I like that answer. Okay. So we get a lot of support in our urban areas for innovation. What can we do as a state to be more supportive and inclusive of rural innovation?
So many thoughts. So this is like one of the kind of soapbox pieces for SEDCOR and for SEDCOR staff, right? I think right now the focus, a lot of the focus we have is on semiconductors and sort of innovation, sort of capital. Okay, and so, but I think what we see, we work a lot with manufacturers, food processors, other sort of what's traded sector. So anybody who's exporting out, for to competitive market, we see tons of innovation, and there's not a lot of thinking around that. There's not a lot of maybe acknowledgement around that, and I think, especially we're talking about all the risks on farm and whatnot, other states have set up cost share programs for farmers who are trialing things to be able to help offset some of those costs. Now, whether that's an investment in storage, which is important, investment in, I'll say drones, but whatever that technology looks like, I'm just joking, right? So, but we, so whatever that could look like, it would be nice to have some tools to help de-risk some of those things. The other thing that's happening right now in ag, of course, is everybody's talking about carbon sequestration and what that looks like and how do you measure it, and there's no easy answers there. And also, you also end up sort of, the people that have been doing it right for 20 years, the no-till guy, the guy who doesn't till his ground, who's been doing the right things, sort of practice, for regenerative ag or any of the other things, will not have a delta. And carbon sequestration in the carbon market is all about the delta. Like, what did you change to capture more carbon? And so those types of things have to get figured out. And so as the Oregon policymakers, I would say, are looking at a cap and trade or carbon tax or call it whatever, we have to think about some of those things and what that looks like. Also, just Willamette Valley soil is really different. So there's, how many soil types? I mean, yeah, infinite. And then so you have all these different types of things, and so you have to start doing data capture. You have to start throwing money at, I would say, baseline like data collection to make these things work well for farmers and for agriculture. And I think that's kind of it's easy to do the broad brushstrokes. Well, of course, carbon sequestration, it's something we should do. But man, when you get into the nitty gritty and the nuance of that, hugely complicated.
Yeah, let me give you an example of carbon capture. So when I was growing up on a grass seed farm, the greatest thing at the end of the season, when you knew the season was done, we openly burnt the fields. And in the 90s, there was a big car accident on I-5, and they canceled all of it. So what happened was all of this straw that came off comes out, doesn't go back into the soil as captured carbon. It goes off and goes to the Far East to be exported. And then what we end up doing is we put more herbicides on to be able to control what used to be a cultural event by burning. So, misapplied intent. Can we deal with a little smoke for a week? Maybe, but that's where I think we look at the carbon capture and the changing the systems. Maybe we should bring burning back. I'm for it. So is that guy.
I would just say that increasingly farmers are losing tools. And not getting a lot of tools back. And so one of the farmers that I work with a lot, he talks about, we're here and farmers want to be here, and there's a lot of cost associated in the middle. And it's not that people are resistant, it's just bottom line, it's sort of just economics of like, well, I can't afford to do those things without a few more carrots would be nice instead of just sticks. So.
Okay, my last question. What technology do you think, like, realistically has the greatest potential to be adopted by the average sized farm in the Mid-Willamette Valley? And how does that then impact those farmers for the better?
Drones. No, I'm kidding. It's not too far from drones, but if you follow the technology market, and it doesn't apply to every crop, but I think it will get there. John Deere bought a company called Blue River, and it was let's call it a see and spray algorithm to where it could differentiate from the crop the weed to be able to take out at a certain stage in the crop. So that has progressed to an 80-foot field sprayer, and now they have a see and spray for corn crops. So as you look at that, I think technology being able to take, and the outcome of that directly impacts an ag retailer because we make margin from being able to sell inputs and recommend inputs to customers. Some people might think that's a conflict of interest. I think as long as you're doing the right thing by the grower, it's a good practice. But it really comes down to that's going to, let's take herbicides, that could reduce the use of herbicides by 90%. So applying technology is a good thing. You got to make it adapt to the crop. But I think sensors and visuals are a big play for the next decade.
Yeah, the sensor piece, I think, especially around water management and then herbicides and spraying, I think is going to be the one that'll be interesting. And the labor piece in Oregon is getting more complicated as well. And so the things that try to save labor or reduce labor are going to be really important. Ag overtime passed last year, and so that's a changing that changes the business model. And so how do you account for that? And what do you do to work around it? What crops do you grow that take less labor? You're probably all familiar with hazelnuts. We're growing a lot of hazelnuts, right? We've got about 100,000 acres planted now. They're a lot easier to deal with than a lot of other crops. And so a lot of the hand harvested stuff, everybody likes their blueberries and their strawberries. That's going to get more expensive and more challenging.
$22 an hour for an employee,
yeah, right.
Where it used to be 13.
Yeah, right.
So
just figuring out how those things work will change the flavor. No pun intended, but we'll change the flavor of Oregon ag. And then plus, like I said, the land's going to transfer as you get more institutional investors. You probably do lose crop diversity. And sort of the story of Oregon ag. And I'm making a value judgment that we should retain it and keep it. But that sort of might be lost without some better tools and without some more technology. So.
Okay, you heard it up here. Ag innovation You can hang out with Alex and Jeff.
Make ag sexy again.
Make ag sexy again. That's Alex's platform. I think y'all can tell that they are very passionate about this, and these are solutions that they absolutely want to see developed to support our economy in the state. Please give them a round of applause. They are two of my favorite people. I think they're going to stick around for a little bit.
I'll drink some beer.
Yeah, drink some beer. If you're ever in Independence, Oregon, Alex will get a beer with you.
Yeah, that's an agricultural product. Just want to let you know.
Oh my God. Okay. I did not know they were going to be that funny, and I'm glad we didn't practice that. So thank you again to Jeff and Alex for sharing your time and expertise with our community. Next up, I'd like to introduce another incredible woman supporting the entrepreneurial industry here. Marquita Jaramillo is a principal at the BFM Fund, a venture fund that invests nationally in Black founders. And Marquita, I'm going to have you come join us on stage. Oh, wait, get another slide. I've seen firsthand the work that Marquita is doing on a daily basis to increase access for entrepreneurs through mentorship and community building, and I'm honored to get to work with her on the Emerge Initiative. So here to explain what the Emerge Initiative is and present the AOTech Emerge Initiative Award is Marquita.
Hello. Thanks for having me. Excited to share this year's Emerge AOTech participants. In a few minutes, you'll be hearing the pitch from the winner, but first, let me share a few words about the Emerge program and myself. My name is Marquita Jaramillo, principal on the BFM Fund, supporting post-investment portfolio management, but also the Emerge program contact. So the Emerge Initiative is designed, switch slides, or not. The Emerge Initiative is designed to help level the playing field by supporting early stage companies led by BIPOC founders. Non-dilutive grants are awarded to BIPOC-led companies who are at the concept stage. The BFM Fund works with various nonprofits, including its flagship partner, the Oregon Entrepreneurs Network, to create geographic and industry-specific standards. The goal of the Emerge program is to provide funds, mentorship, and resources for concept stage companies to assist in finalizing their prototypes, secure patents, and launch into the market. This gives them the ability to demonstrate customer traction and product market fit before seeking equity investment. So this is just kind of an example of how we do a bit of what we do. Pre-award, we are working with our partners. I already said that part. Pitch competition, we work internally with our steering committee. Veronica was one of the folks that participated this year and allowed us to introduce our winner that we'll be introducing in a few seconds. And then we also partner with various accelerators that are niche specific to various industries because we are industry agnostic. And the support that we provide, we like to provide direct contact with partners that have niche specific, resources specific to the niches that these folks are working on. So ideally, we're helping founders build a strong network from the foundation up so that they can be stronger as they move along through the process. So this year's winner, I don't know if it'll, sorry, it's just started working for me, guys. Pitch, mentorship, resources. Okay. So this year's winner is Listea Malloy. She is the founder of Friday Outdoors. They empower people to get camping by making know-how accessible offline through a mobile app.
Are we good? All right. Let's see. All right. Who wants to feel joy, confidence, and freedom? Anybody in here? Heck yeah. Now, did you know that you could feel that from camping? For real, for real. All right, so my name's Listea Malloy. I'm the founder and CEO of Friday Outdoors. We're empowering people to get camping by making the know-how accessible offline, and we do that through our app. Now, growing up, I had never been camping before. Like, I knew nobody who went. It was not a thing. But when I was 11 years old, my parents passed away, and I moved with family. It was then that I was introduced to hiking. And a lot of these hiking spots, they would start at campgrounds. And that's when I started noticing people camping. But it took until graduating from college and moving to Portland, Oregon, to work up the courage to go on my first camping trip. So imagine with me for a moment that you are new to camping, right? We arrived, it's gorgeous out there. Excuse me, how do I set this tent again? And how do I get this campfire going? You see, the beauty of camping is that you're disconnected, right? But the problem is that you're disconnected. And if you get stuck, there's no way to look up the information as you normally would at home, because most campgrounds have little to no cell phone service. And I got to thinking, there has to be a way. So we came up with the Friday Outdoors app that makes camping know-how accessible offline to folks in the moments they need it most. And that's when you're out camping. That's when the learning happens, right? So it's designed for folks who are new to camping, but also to people with some experience, but wanting to take their camping to that next level. The videos, the content, it's all very straightforward and to the point. That way folks can really get the information they need in that moment and then tuck that phone away to stay in the camping vibes. So what exactly is included? Well, if you're a total beginner, we'll hook you up with the essentials. But for the more experienced camper, we really help you to learn how to problem solve when you're outdoors. Now, from a competitive standpoint, we're really bringing a new approach to outdoor education. REI, they're definitely a go-to. They got an amazing website, but it's only available online. People actually write down what it says, so they have the tips available offline. Fun fact we learned. There's also YouTube, but that's a mixed bag. And then there's a book, but you're definitely not going to get videos from that. From a market size standpoint, I mean, camping is something that's done internationally, but when we look at the outdoor industry here in the US, that's a $698 billion industry. From camping, that's $200 billion. And if we look at first-time campers to start with in the US, that's $100 million. So for our go-to-market, anyone here shop at REI? Okay, so when you go to REI, you're going to see Friday Outdoors in the camping section. We're in 4 REIs with signage in the camping section. So when you're going to buy that tent or any kind of camping gear, you'll see us. We've got multiple signs and because we're in Portland, I'll say the Portland, the Hillsboro, their flagship store in Seattle, and Bellevue. We also are partnering with outdoor communities who are bringing people together for hiking and camping, and then working to develop our website and social media so we get that organic growth. From a revenue model, we have 2 revenue streams. One is our freemium model, and if you are a paid trailblazer, you're going to get access to all the camping tips, and that's available offline. For our outdoor companies and organizations who want to have sponsored how-tos in the app, then that's another revenue stream. Imagine that brand affinity for companies that can help people use their gear in the moments that they need it. So we're definitely the team to make this happen. I have over 15 years of experience in the tech industry as a product manager, user experience researcher. I've worked on a business, building it to over $1 billion in revenue. And so I know what it takes to have a business and scale it. To get to understand the outdoor industry, we were fortunate to get into REI's accelerator program for early stage startups. And then Scott Malloy, he brings over 20 years of experience in software engineering and has experience with apps that are shipping in stores now. For accomplishments so far, it was just a little over a year ago. We started with a homepage, told the world what we're going to do. Not everyone came right immediately, but we told the world what we're going to do. And then just a few months ago in the off season, we had an early release of the app. We have hundreds of people using it, and we'll be doing a summer release. As I mentioned, we were going to be in one REI store, but they actually said, hey, why don't we expand you to our largest store? So that's how we then just said, hey, why don't we add a few more stores in there too? So, hey, you got to ask, right? And then I just got back from the Big Gear Show, which is an outdoor industry event, and have multiple partnerships who want to do some collabs together in the app. So definitely some exciting times. All right. Hey, you guys said you like camping. You know what I'm trying to do. Download the app, become a paid trailblazer, and get awesome camping tips. But then also, let's definitely connect, and let's just make it so that all of us can really feel joy, confidence, and freedom outdoors. Thank you.
Oh, just congratulations? Why is it not working for me? Okay. The Merge initiative for AOTech would not be possible without generous support of individual investors. It is my pleasure to present this check for $5,000 to Listea, Malloy, and Friday Outdoors.
Yay, congratulations. We've started handing out big checks. All right. Lestrea, it's been a pleasure to get to know you in Friday Outdoors through the AOTech process. And that big camp thing that she was talking about was in my hometown of Atlanta, Georgia. So I was glad she got to go there. All right. So we're going straight on through until morning, folks. I'm screwing up my lines. Well, at least until about 5:30 p.m. So throughout the program, we trust you are adults, and you can take a bio break, refresh your drink, get some food, stretch, answer phone calls, do your emails, whatever needs to get done. So as we settle into the second portion of our event, I want to explain a little bit about how this program works, because it is not the pitch competition, even though we are about to hear pitches. So these founders that are on the screen have been working in the AOTech cohort since April, the first week in April, when we started the education program. 25 local technology companies went through AOTech, a program focused on investment readiness and featuring successful local founders, including a couple in the room, Ryan Cummingdare, John Harkness, Say Pike, and Kabir Bhatia. It's really important for me to point out on that list that almost 30% of our companies are headquartered outside of Portland, which is why our program is done online so that we can continue to support innovation around the state. So after the education program wrapped up, 14 companies applied for investment. Remember, I said they are here. They're looking for money. I hope you'll get a chance to meet them before the day is out. The angel investors in the fund invited 9 companies to participate in due diligence and selected these 4 as finalists. That process was not as simple as that one sentence made it sound. Over the last few weeks, like 6, these 4 companies have been put through the paces. Investor meetings and calls, digging into their teams, their financials, their products, their demos, and their potential. So while you're going to see each of these finalist companies pitch today for 5 minutes, the big reveal this afternoon is going to be based on much more than these 5 minutes on stage. You can learn a lot about a company in 5 good minutes. So here to introduce our first finalist is Devon Horace with the Portland Seed Fund. Everybody give Devon a round of applause as he runs down the center aisle, high-fiving everybody as he goes. There you go. That's nice. That's how you're supposed to enter.
Thank you so much. I'll make this quick because you guys really want to hear about the companies, not about me. My name is Devon Horace. I am the principal at Portland Seed Fund. This is cool. Yeah, and I had the absolute pleasure to introduce our first of 4 company finalists. Let's see, is they gonna move? Okay, I'll just introduce myself. So this is the CEO of Remotely Studio. I want to introduce Jeremy Bircher. Come on up. Yeah, come on right now.
Thanks.
Hello, my name is Jeremy Bircher, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Remotely Studio. We're evolving post-production. If you don't know what post-production is, think of a movie set. Everything that happens after the cameras turn off is post-production. The editing, the color, the sound, everything involved in that. It's incredibly expensive. Generally 20 to 30% of a film's overall budget, mostly because it's done by hand, kind of an antiquated process. It's incredibly complex, too. You have all of these teams who are under a strict deadline, mostly of expensive, expert-level technicians. I've made a career as an expert-level, expensive technician. 2 years ago, I won my first Emmy for an intro to the Super Bowl, and also worked directly with Mark Zuckerberg as his personal video editor at Facebook. And it's very redundant. I can tell you what's involved in these high-stakes production workflows. There's a lot of repetitive tasks. We think 80% of that can be automated. But there's not a lot of solutions yet, because mostly camera files are huge, and they're getting bigger as camera tech gets better and better. These existing solutions are largely physical hard drives. In fact, there's a producer here in town. Her sole job is to drive physical hard drives from the producer to the studio, back and forth, has a Google spreadsheet that she ticks off when it's been delivered. Not scalable, not secure, certainly not any automation involved. So, if we wanted to get to automated workflows, we would first need to build cloud-based storage for video. And we've done just that. This is Remotely Studio as it is today. We've taken all those crazy complex workflows and made them super fast and simple. We've automated the proxies and dailies process, you can see on our booth back there. And we have up to 100 gig file transfer right in the browser to a video editor that makes a huge difference. Basically, what we're doing is we're taking all of these aspects of post-production and we're centralizing them in the cloud. What that means is we're able to automate things. If you take a look at that cloud archival process, 336 laborious, ridiculous hours of manual paid labor down to just over 5 hours on our platform. If you look at the finishing side, we're taking a mastering session, 10 hours down to 3 minutes flat, a 200x increase in speed. This is what we're doing today. We're not only saving people time, but we're also saving them money. If you took a $100 million feature, they'd probably be spending about $5 million on processing. With Remotely Studio, they are spending only $750,000. It's an 85% savings, putting $4.25 million back into the film budget, or a 4% reduction in COGS. For the overall budget, too. We're in beta with some pretty serious people in the industry. HBO, ESPN, Facebook, and we just wrapped a project in our studio with Paramount Pictures. And 2 weeks ago, we did our first live tech demo to a room full of producers where we took 14 hours of manual work and did it in just over 45 minutes. 7 studios since then have signed up for our early access program. In that way, we have a huge market, $65 billion total available market for post-production technology. Most of that is the advertising world and streaming TV. We have some revenue. We had 3 components build this up: the cloud storage, the automated processing, and of course, the subscription fees. We already have $1 million in our sales funnel for 2023. We're looking forward to getting that to production in the next couple months. We do have some competitors. No one's really focused on the entire enchilada of post-production. They all have little bits and pieces of this figured out. But for a professional video setting, you really need all of those to get to true automation. We launched this in 2021. My co-founder and I have spent $1.8 million of our own funds in this. We are truly believe in this product, and we're looking forward to that launch soon. We are raising a seed round, $2 million at a 20% discount. We've secured $860,000 of that, leaving about 1.1 still open. That expands us down to LA, certainly the capital of production in the world, and gets us these cloud access points built. We have an amazing team. My co-founder, Jordan Snyder, is here. He co-founded the only Netflix-certified post-production house here in the Northwest. We recently named Darren Buckner our COO, and notably David Kress, the producer of Portlandia. Who here knows Portlandia? Woo! Before he even started working on our team, he gave us this quote: "The future of all filmmaking is cloud-based technology, and Remotely is in a position to get us there." We're doing this because we really want to get all the stories that deserve to be told and might be gatekept or not have the budget to do it out there. So thank you so much. We're happy to answer any questions over at our booth.
Awesome job. Thank you so, so much. That was wonderful. All right. I would like to have come up to stage AOTech partner and sponsor from Macro Law Group, Bonnie Page.
Well, it's nice to see so many faces in person. I've just seen a lot of your faces on Zoom. I'm going to plug AOTech for a minute. It has been the most fun experience being an investor and getting to hear from CEOs and engineers and a lot of other people with different experiences going through the diligence process. So anybody out there who's thinking about investing but didn't, it has been so much fun. But the things that I am supposed to say are, thank you. This is a little tall for me. I'm introducing Paloma as one of the finalists. Paloma connects motivated professionals with their dream job by removing the noise to effortlessly identify the best fit based on skills, motivations, and values. Please give a warm welcome to Alyssa McKee and Jana Chapman of Paloma.
Rearrange things a little bit. Okay. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Jana and this is Alyssa, and we are Paloma. And we're here to completely redefine the way that we hire. Because imagine if finding your dream job was as easy as swiping right. It's no secret that job searching sucks. And I've worked in recruiting for over 7 years. And throughout that time, I've been listening to companies and listening to candidates tell me what they're looking for and what's important to them. And I can confidently say that companies are not looking to hire someone that has the best resume. And candidates do not want to go work for a company because they have an amazing job description. But that's what the process is, and that's what we're used to. And sometimes it works, but a lot of times it doesn't. And so for a lot of us, we just gave up. How many exactly? Well, according to our survey, 55% of professionals are not looking for a new opportunity, but they wouldn't pass up an amazing opportunity if it came up. There's a huge untapped market here. And again, throughout all my time in recruiting, what I've realized is that everyone wants something different, but one thing that we all have in common is that we want to find a company that values us for who we are. So that's what we're creating.
Meet Paloma, your new daily ritual to discover your career. We're more than a job searching app. This is a journey of self-discovery and the opportunity to match with a company based on more than your skills and your job title. This is incredibly important because in the world we live in today, we are facing 3 significant paradigm shifts. The world is becoming more digital. Employees are more empowered, and they're not afraid to ask for what they want. And at the same time, there's a big shift in the workforce. Boomers are retiring, and millennials and Gen Z are making up majority of the workforce. And they are the ones who care the most about who a company is and what they represent.
So the recruiting industry is a big market. I think that we all know that. And companies are willing to pay tens of thousands of dollars in order to find the best talent. But the thing is that we're creating a marketplace. And our goal is to connect motivated professionals with the best companies out there, which is why we are pricing ourselves at a price that our target customers are used to paying, just $2.99 per search. But don't get us wrong, we're here to make money. And the Portland market alone is a $44 million market with just the single revenue stream. And that increases to a $4.5 billion market across the US. But there are endless possibilities of additional revenue streams that we can add. So I'll just let you imagine how big that number could get. So it's a big market, but how do we know that people are going to pay us? And what makes us different? Well, it is a crowded industry, that's true, but I have never seen a single company out there who has had confidential company profiles. And I know you're probably wondering why we think that would be a good idea. Well, as humans, we make assumptions. And if we don't know the brand, then we're going to make assumptions based off of the information that we see. And what do we typically see? A company name, their job description. Maybe if we're really curious, we'll look at their website. So Paloma is created specifically for small to mid-sized companies to level the playing field and reduce bias and assumptions so that you can get a holistic fit and get down to what truly matters for both parties.
We know that a two-sided marketplace is challenging, which is why we're taking a thoughtful approach. We are working with a group of committed Portland-based companies and job-curious professionals through a manual MVP. So we have the opportunity to test our match in real time, get feedback, and really build a product and learn more about our algorithm while creating momentum. To really accelerate this and take it to the next steps, we are looking for a $750,000 investment. This is to build our product, to hire a great foundational team, and for marketing. So we are currently open for investment. So look, we've talked about the product and the problem, right? But we know that what really matters is the team. It's who we are. And just like with the resume, we can't share our story with you in 5 minutes. But what we can say is that we have the passion, we have the tenacity, and we have the humility that it takes to get this done. So invest in us, and we'll give you our best. Thank you.
And go sign up for our raffle at our booth if you want to win a free Paloma cocktail kit, tequila and all. Like tequila?
They have been really fun to work with. Well done, Alyssa and Jana. Thank you. Paloma is a drink, too, for those of you that are not aware of that. That's what, maybe I'll pull that together for everybody. All right, next up, let me welcome from Oregon Tech Works Association Executive Director, Tara Starr.
Hey, thanks, Cara. Hello, everyone. I'm Tara Starr from Oregon Tech Works Association. TechWorks is the premier nonprofit association dedicated to fostering the growth of the Oregon technology industry. Our mission is to provide unparalleled support and resources to help tech companies thrive. With a TechWorks membership, tech companies can gain access to an extensive network and range of benefits that go beyond what they could achieve independently. Benefits include employee health benefits, payroll services, co-working spaces, and much more. I'm excited to be here to introduce our third AOTech finalist of the afternoon, which is Annum. Annum is the marketplace software as a service company that empowers businesses to provide housing as a benefit to their workforce. Please welcome to the stage CEO of Annum, Jarek Murray.
Hello, my name is Jarek Murray. I'm the founder of Annum, and we work with businesses to house their employees at below market rates. So, as you know, housing is broken. And the fortunate thing is that now businesses understand that housing is broken. They're losing $1 trillion a year due to voluntary turnover, quarterly based on the cost of living. And that cost of living is largely due to housing. Now, the issues that these employees or businesses are facing Now, let me start over. Hold on. Sorry about that. So, there's a cultural change in process. As we all know, businesses are losing $1 trillion a year due to voluntary turnover. And that turnover is based corely on cost of living increases. The biggest cost of living is your housing. And they're trying to address it now. They're doing everything they can. The problem is they're not good at it. They don't want to do it, and it's not working. So I founded Annum to provide housing as a benefit to support employers' work forces to allow them to be housed at below market rates. So the housing process, as I said, is broken, but it can really be boiled down to two issues. It's really affordability and access. And Annum's able to address that at scale by tackling these issues through our approach. Our approach is effectively a collective bargaining model where we aggregate supply and demand at scale, and then we're able to negotiate pricing to drop the cost and additionally democratize access. Businesses pay us for this. They pay us at a transaction fee, and they also pay us monthly reoccurring revenue. They pay us so much that we believe in about 6 to 7 years we'll be able to generate $100 million of ARR, and this is largely due to our Ownership Plus product where businesses buy into a large pool of housing to support their workforce, and then our network product where employees, which are our members, are able to lease housing that we have available at below market rates. Now, as I said before, access is a big issue, and what we do is host those opportunities on our platform and allow HR and finance teams to structure benefits and then push that to their workforce, which has a marketplace experience. Now, last time we spoke, we'd worked with 5 or 6 companies. We generated a little bit of revenue, and we learned a lot. And we've been able to take those learnings and effectively scale that up to work with some, or have some great opportunities. So earlier this week, we just sent a proposal to Amazon for 500 units of our network service between 2 markets. That's Reno, Nevada, and Tri-Cities, Washington. We also have this 40-unit, just under 40-unit opportunity in Southern Oregon with Ownership Plus, and have some Fortune 500s as well as large businesses interested in that opportunity. And we're also advancing on a home ownership benefits as it relates to First Interstate Bank, and that's a pilot program that we expect to launch in the next 6 months or so. So all of this takes money. As you guys know, we're raising $850,000 to really do 3 things: validate the network effects, validate the unit economics, and then build out our platform and that utility. So general opportunities and tailwinds. We're monetizing 2 of the biggest assets on the planet, labor and housing. We believe that by utilizing that, we can really bring a refreshed vision to capitalism. And furthermore, government initiatives pretty much everywhere are trying to address housing in many ways, and we see them as a collaborator and a strategic partner. And lastly, how we live is fundamentally different now. How we work is fundamentally different, and we see housing as a benefit being the new really thing and to gain hegemony in the world. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
All right, Jarek, that was awesome. Thank you. And now, last but certainly not least, from Perkins Coie is Ann McQuestion. There's Ann.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ann McQuestion. I'm a corporate attorney at Perkins Coie. We're a full-service law firm with deep roots in the technology industry and a longtime supporter of OEN and the Angel Oregon program, so it's really exciting to be a part of this and see all the energy in the room today. So my next job here is to introduce our 4th and final pitch this afternoon. This is FOSIO, which offers coating resins to augmented reality manufacturers that enable friendly, high-quality headsets. So please welcome to the stage CEO of FIRESIDE, Omid Sadehi.
Hi, my name is Omid. I'm the CEO and founder of FIRESIDE, and sadly, we are not a software company. At FIRESIDE, we are helping augmented reality manufacturers to make AR glasses that are smaller and provide a better image quality. Augmented reality is believed to be the next big thing. They're going to replace your cell phones 10 years from now. But there are a few problems. Those devices are heavy and bulky and provide a terrible image quality. Here's what you get today. What end user wants is this: a good image quality, small glasses. But the question is how we can get there. The answer is actually known. The display unit is not efficient, so they make everything bigger to make up for that problem. Let me walk you through technical stuff a little bit. The display unit is simply made of a piece of glass and a nano pattern coating. What nano pattern coating does is letting the light in, transfer it to somewhere else, and out to the user's eye. It's that simple. Right now, the high efficient glasses, they are in the market, but the coating companies, they suck. They cannot make a good coating high efficient. They are still using polymers or plastic for these glasses. But we are talking about high energy light shining all the time. So like your car's headlights, they get yellow over time. But in this case, we're talking about a month, and they are not efficient. The solution we have is actually a bottle-off solution that we will be selling to augmented reality manufacturer, and they can put it on the current tooling they have right now. So this is the kind of solution that we call plug-in type solution. And they can make those coatings. These are made with glass. So our technology is making glass at room temperature. Have you guys heard about any company that makes glass at room temperature? So they can make those nano patterns, increase the field of view or the quality of the images by at least 50%, and make devices 40% smaller. The whole thing, the process, the formulation and application is backed up by 3 patents. This is a platform technology with application in AR, solid-state lighting, cell phones, LiDAR, and recently we found we have some application in solid-state batteries. This is a $15 billion industry. And in our business model, we envision the company to sell directly to those AR manufacturers or companies like Gore-Tex, Nail-Tech, and Applied Materials that will be the foundry for those people. And in terms of profit margin, we are using commodity chemicals and charging premium. So we have plenty of room, high profit margin, and people ask me about traction. You see all those people? They are talking to us. We don't like some of them because they don't have a good reputation, but eventually we can talk to them. In terms of competition, there are 3 different types of coatings in the market. Plastic or polymer coatings, companies like Mitsubishi or Hitachi, they make those plastic coatings. As I mentioned, they are not high performance for AR market. They are also not durable. They get yellow over time, but they are cheap. And then there are some smart people who mix glass-type nanoparticles with polymers because they couldn't figure out a way to use 100% glass stuff. They get better optical performance, but they are not durable at all, and they're quite expensive. And FIRESIDE is the only company that makes those high-performance coatings that are durable. Have you guys heard of any glass that gets yellow over time? At a reasonable price. We have plenty of room to lower our prices, but why would you do that when Apple is, pricing devices at $3,500? And the whole coating for them will cost $10. The team, we are proudly out of Oregon State University. We have 75 years of chemistry experience, and we are humbled to have Doug Kessler on the team, the most famous guy in transparent inorganic coatings. He founded Impria. They just sold for, people they say 500 something, but it's actually 650 because JSR owned 21% of the company. So they sold for $650 million. In terms of financials and other stuff, we are raising $500K, 400 already committed. That's to set down our pilot system and engage our first customer. We already have the customer, we just need to scale up. And then we're going to have a seed round in January 24 to scale up even more and put down our high volume manufacturing in January 26. Based on our experience in the past, I'm done with this. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Omid, and congratulations again to all of our finalists. It has really been a pleasure for me to get to know you and your companies. I'm excited to follow your progress, and I do get a little sad when these programs end because the last 12 weeks we've basically spent what feels like 800 hours together. So now one of you is going to have your progress fueled by a $170,000 investment. This is the part I love and I hate. It's also why I'm not in charge of our investing budget, because I would give money to everyone. So the big moment has come, and I'm very excited to welcome our AOTech partner, Nathan Lilligard from Rain Catalyst, to the stage. Yeah, give Nathan a round of applause. He's the best. He has the envelope with the investor's decision, and it's a secret right now. So Nathan, take it away.
There's no fancy wax seal or anything.
No.
That's it?
No.
Wasn't in the budget?
Not in the budget.
We need better sponsors. Hi, Nathan Lilligard. I am the Capital Access Director for an organization called Rain Catalysts. We're a statewide entrepreneurial support organization that helps underrepresented founders in underserved communities build entrepreneurial ecosystems. We work with Portland Seed Fund. Devon, good to see you. First time I've met Devon in person. And we also work with Republic, which is a crowdfunding equity platform to help connect startups with capital. So it says no notes. Do I have to move something forward here? Oh, there we go. Thank you. All right. So now you want me to open the, okay. Do it. Such a cute little envelope. All right. And the winner is Remotely Studio. Yeah. Everybody come to the front stage.
All right.
You guys get the check.
I don't know where that goes in the bank. That'll be a huge thank you to AOTech, everyone who's been a part of our journey, our team who's not here with us. Some of them are here tonight. Eric Dayton, Siteworks, Jim Lee, Rusty Jennings. Oh my gosh, everyone. We're just so grateful for all of your support. And keep posted. Stay tuned. Come and talk with us. We're just really proud to be a part of the Portland startup scene. It's really meant a lot just to be a part of such a rich community with AOTech, Cara, Riley, everyone. So thank you so much.
I just wanted to add on to that. I pitched this at AOTech 2019.
Oh, and 2021.
Yeah, and 2021. But I made it on the main stage in 2019, and just, it's a, nice point in the journey to be able to get this, and, owning a company, the entrepreneurial, like the whole VC, raising money for your company. It's a really great community that we have here that can really help bring you through and show you how to set your company up to be able to get funding. And I'm excited to be on this journey with this guy, and there we go.
Okay, they were also not scripted, and they took all of my lines. I was going to say, for the companies that have gone through this program, raise your hand if you were a company that participated as an AOTech company. Everybody look around the room. Give them a round of applause. This is tough. And I love what Remotely brought up. This is not the first time they've done this, and so that's the point. We keep working with companies to get them investor ready, which is what Deepthi, who is now in the room from OVF and serves on our board, would say. So we are almost done, because this is my favorite part where I get to tell you there's a little surprise. All of these companies are investable, and I would like to invite Skip Rung, if he is here, from Onami. Skip and his team have been following AOTech closely after partnering with us on AOBIO, and he is going to come up on stage for a minute and join me. But he needs to talk to Riley first. It's just a big piece of paper that we're bringing on stage.
When Albus Dumbledore welcomed a group of incoming and returning students, he had a few words to say. I don't remember what any of them were, but maybe some of you do. But I have a few words to say too. Indium tin oxide, lithium cobalt oxide, gallium arsenide, indium phosphide, hafnium oxide, molybdenum disilicide, LED, LCD, low K dielectric, high K dielectric, high resolution, high quantum efficiency photoresist. How about that? You miss any one of those things, you don't get this. We think that high refractive index nanoimprintable films is going to be joining that list very soon. And so Onami, an investor in science-based startup companies in Oregon, who have raised over $2.5 billion since we started doing this almost 20 years ago, is pleased to invest $50,000 in Fozio.
Okay, because the surprises happen, I don't actually do the math ahead of time. So we just catalyzed $225,000 in this room when we add our emerge. But we had the emerge initiative. Yes, see, 225. Y'all, we practice this constantly. Okay, so what we just saw with Skip, what we saw with the BFM Fund, this is what I love about the Oregon Entrepreneurs Network so much. We are all the pieces of the network literally coming together to support the region's founders. So you all are a big part of that. Please give yourselves a round of applause. And we've worked really hard to get things done early and on time. So it is now 5 o'clock, which means you have a couple of choices. You can go home and spend time with your family. You can go to your next event, or you can stay here for the next couple of hours and have happy hour with us and get very acquainted with all of these budding entrepreneurs and folks that are looking for investment. So I think that's it, except one more thank you to Arna Rich Messina for supporting the happy hour that you are going to enjoy. Thanks to all of our sponsors. We appreciate you all very much. And I think that's a wrap. Oh, wait. Thanks, BFM Fund. There's more thank yous. We have to thank our amazing vendors, the AV department, Jason DeSammer Photography, Patrick Guild Videography, Mosaic Interpretation, and everyone at Jupiter Next. This is a lovely venue. The outside is open, and they refreshed the plants while we were doing our pitches, which is incredible. I also always like to re-thank the OEN team. They are amazing. Another round of applause for them. Another round of applause for our investors, because when I tell you we were doing due diligence sometimes 12 hours a week during the last 4 weeks, that is not an exaggeration. I started a due diligence call from the car. I was not driving, but like they're intense and fast and furious. I also like to thank all the very important and special people in my life. So my family over there in the corner, I appreciate you being here. So stick around, have some food, have some drinks, check out the Innovation Showcase, register for Paloma's cocktail kit, and thanks for being here. We appreciate it.